Very good afternoon. So I welcome all to this an expert talk on paradigm shift in research and academics by two eminent personalities, Dr. Ajay Deshmukh sir and Dr. Pallavi Soman madam. So I welcome both the guests on the behalf of VPKBIT Baramati sir. So please accept our token of affinity.
Okay, sir.
Respected Principal Dr. Rajan Kumar Biskar, Vice Principal Dr. Sudhir Lande, then all the deans, Dean Academic Dr. Anil Hurekar sir, Dean R&D Dr. Rajveer Shastri, all respected HODs, fellow colleagues and dear students. Here I am taking an opportunity to introduce our respected Dr. Ajay Deshmukh sir in the briefest possible way. Sir has completed his B and ME from Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji College of Engineering and Technology in Nanded and PhD from IIT Powai in 2006. Sir is having 28 years of experience in academics. Sir has worked in different capacities in different technical institutes, which include Professor of Instrumentation and Control in Cummins College of Engineering for Women, VIT Pune, Principal of Engineering Colleges, different engineering colleges in Maharashtra as well as in Gujarat. Sir is currently the Independent Director of Affordable Robotics Automation, ITD, Pune, and Treasurer of IAM Pune. Over a period of more than 2 decades, Sir has offered customized training courses to multinational industries and public sector units on diversified specialized topics. The industry verticals where these courses were offered are automotive, automation, chemical, sugar, petroleum, petrochemicals, power sector, process and manufacturing industry, and healthcare industry. These courses were designed based on highly specific requirements of the industry, and the objective was to overcome the industry specification problems. Okay, some of the courses were offered through IIT Bombay. Then these courses are offered to industry participants in order to build the basic knowledge around a specific domain and also to create awareness in those specific topics, different topics. In a majority, Industry 4.0, data analysis, standards and practices, safety in industry and hazards and disaster management, and so on. Industries benefited with this include Honeywell Automation India Limited, Pune, ABB Bangalore. Then so many are there. So especially Force Marshall, Pune, John Deere, Pune. Yes, we have also attended some workshops in relation to the same campaign. Dr. Ajay has conducted several training courses for faculty and student development. He also organized national and international conferences, seminars, and presented keynotes and invited talks. There are many outreach programs and public lectures to his credit. Contributed in magnetic resonance imaging, specifically signal and image processing in functional MRI and cardiac MRI, and made several collaborative efforts in this field. So this has been, Sir has been author of 2 books, Functional MRI, Novel Transform Methods, Morosa in 2008, as a research monograph dedicated to the Society for Cancer Research and Communications, Mumbai. And another book is Microcontrollers, Theory and Applications, Tata Micro Health Publications. Sir was the Secretary of International Society of Automation and the Chair of Signal Processing Chapter IEEE Bombay Section. Lot of memberships are there, which include Indian Nuclear Society, National Magnetic Resonance Society of India, International Society of Automation, Instrument Society of India, Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics, Biomedical Society of India, Society for Cancer Research and Communication, Indian Society for Technical Education, Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Indian Academy for Industrial and Applicable Mathematics, and also the Indian Mathematics Consortium. So it is really honor for me to say something about you, sir. You are really a very kind person. You are science lover and mathematics lover also. So it's my honor to share something about you. Thanks a lot, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, sir, for nice introduction. Some proposal was there and there was some phone call. So, really good afternoon. I'm really delighted that Vidya Pratishthan's Kamalnath Bajaj Institute of Engineering and Technology has uh, uh, has organized this session, and we are quickly all of us could join, and we would like to interact on very important topic for maybe national importance. It could be a topic at higher level and at global level also. So what I will do is I'll share the slides, and then perhaps we will be talking about the paradigm shift in research, and then uh, Dr. Pallavi Soman Madam, she will be talking about the paradigm shift in education. Both are very important topic. Perhaps we'll be talking about some of the aspects which are not normally noticed and which are happening, but it is important that we all are aware of all those things, and therefore we wanted to organize this session. And now I will quickly share the slides. I hope you will be able to see it in.
Yes, sir. You can share.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, just tell me feedback whether
Yes,
you are able
it
to.
is visible, sir.
Yeah, I hope it is visible. Yeah, we can put it in slideshow mode. That way 30 minutes are very very good enough time, and another 30 minutes for Dr. Soman Madam. So we are going to really work out a very interesting thing, and I hope everybody is expert in their own field. Let us believe that you have your own topic of interest and expertise, but in spite of all those things, there are several important aspects at higher level which perhaps normally are not seen. So a big picture of what is happening around at global level in research and education has to be visualized. And really, I'm thankful to Dr. Bichkar sir, your principal, and Dr. Sonali sir, and Dr. Shastri sir, and several other professors from this college, and maybe people from other colleges around. So whenever we talk about a very, very high level research, in fact, we need to find out what are the bottom lines and what are the what is the big picture, and how do we think about all these things. Research that way, people have not understood basically what is research in real sense, because when we talk about global research, then we are trying to address very real problems. And what is research? Basically, you study in research methodology and several other things, and in academic research, or maybe it could be pure theoretical research and industrial research. But a research starts whenever there is some problem which is not understood even, or there is no solution. Sometimes there is a solution, there is no problem that is assigned. Sometimes problem is there, and then you try to find the solution. Sometimes problem statement has to be defined very clearly. Of course, in all the cases, problem statement has to be very clearly defined. Then there is a exploratory research where you just finding out what is the outcome of what kind of efforts you need to put. so that a research problem as well solution both are not known. And there are many such problems. In fact, this is the real need that we try to work in this particular quadrant of research, where we either talk about design thinking in case of maybe some managerial talks, or sometimes we also enter into exploratory research, and then solution as well as problem is not known to. So there are four combinations with these two words, problems and solutions. And now what is happening is, once we understand the meaning, that the outcome of research is the knowledge, new knowledge, that the knowledge that is not existing on this planet, that is the outcome of the research, and which is the new knowledge. So maybe people talk about discoveries or inventions, or people they talk about innovations. All these terms are very different. For example, I have written here, innovations are quite different, and we must first of all fix up what is the research problem, maybe done by academics, or by academicians, or by professors, or by research scholars. So the responsibility is finally, or the ownership of the research is with professors, research scholars, and maybe industry R&D teams. So maybe anybody can take ownership of the research. This is very important. Not necessary that somebody should go for only PhD and they are able to do the research. In fact, that is just the learning part of the system, university system. But mainly, we try to address some problem that is not at all understood, or not at all uh, understood, or not at all solved by anyone on the planet. I think that is the meaning of carrying out original research, and new knowledge has to be there. So research is not that you are just struggling for anything. Whenever you are stuck up, maybe the research work starts. So that is the starting point of research. And maybe whenever people they stuck up, maybe we just forget, and sometimes we ignore the problem under hand, but every time it is the problem. For example, now if you talk about the admission process of maybe engineering courses or so many other courses, how many people are attracted now? This is called as some sort of research. Sometimes you take a decision, you want to take a very high decision, and it has impulsive impact. So those kind of things are coming under action research. For example, very high level decision about what is to be done, typically maybe a COVID like situation, right? You want to give some instruction. So this is a very high end action research, because the moment you declare this, then there is some action followed by this. So this is called an action research. And there are so many other things, perhaps research methodology you can study, and different types of research. And what do you mean by original research? That is more important, because this is now connected to research outcomes. Knowledge is one, but there are many other things which will be coming as a spin-off, maybe patenting or journal publications, original journal publication. I think that is more important. Then third thing is, you may be talking about some intellectual property, or there could be maybe in addition to IPRs, there could be so many other things, like copyrights are also there. So you write something, and that is the ownership of the person who carries out research, or a group of person who can carry out the research. So starting with this kind of understanding now, whenever we explain this to professors, research scholars, and industry teams, perhaps the meaning of doing research is understood. Maybe carrying out design is not a research. Research is different than design. So every term which we come across, that doesn't mean that it is a research. And research, as I told you, two conditions. One is somewhere you are stuck up, or the problem could be very social or technical or commercial, or could be highly in terms of the things which are related to the life. So there are so many types of research people they may carry out. I would like to bring your attention, like where the research has to be carried out, and then I talk about the paradigm shift. It should be there in almost everywhere. Whenever you work, you need to definitely handle some of the problems which fit into the research, and maybe social, political, or commercial, or financial problems, or managerial problems, or could be highly technological problems. So these all these things fit into the research. So it could be carried out anywhere, not necessary that it is only the engineering research. In fact, engineering is different term as compared to technology. But when you want to carry out technology, definitely some research is required, and people will get a feel of that they are carrying out research for certain topic. Now there are so many relevant problem statements which we need to identify. And this is the major task. And today, you know that there are plenty of problems which are not known to people. So one of the key ideas here is that let us bring out the problems to the notice of people who would like to carry out research. That will be the basic motivation, in fact, that these problems are there and I have to work on that. The problem, research problem, may boil down to very high-end research. For example, it could be for Nobel Prize, or it could be for some maybe Bhatnagar Prize at least, and could be for very high-end recognition by some scientific societies, like maybe Royal Society, or could be Indian National Science Academy, or many good societies are there. But this recognition and that kind of research feeling is very important. But that is essential thing the moment we want to carry out research. So understanding problem, how we do it, understanding problem, basic motivation, objective, research guidance, not only for PhD but scholars and even for anybody who want to carry out research. I think these are some of the aspects which I wanted to just cover as a prerequisite. Now this slide is very interesting, perhaps. So paradigm shift in research. In fact, I will be talking more on this for longer time because everything I cannot just put it on the slide and then try to see whether it is of your interest. Perhaps you can interact with me in between also. So the COVID situation, perhaps people are not just interested in finding out when the COVID will be over and what will be the timeline for that. Many statistical analysis and such methods have been tried, and people want to carry out dynamic studies, and they are doing that. But that is a different game at all. As far as the research shift is concerned, whatever was earlier going on in industry as well as in business, and it is not running now. Something new has to come. Maybe work from home culture is also there. So working culture has changed because of the COVID. Then the kind of resources which were very important earlier, now those are not required in that particular sense. Still, people are able to carry out the work. In fact, we have not missed the work. So same thing is true about research also, that we are not missing the research. But now, what is exactly research? Doesn't mean that somebody should publish so many journal papers. This is very important. The number game is not important. Maybe one is good. You write books, monographs, or journal papers also. There's no problem. But it is not the number game. Now, what we want to address here is the kind of shift that we are experiencing in the COVID situation is because of so many other things which are coming in addition to the culture, the working culture, work from home, for example. This is very simply understood. The kind of culture in industry, like those who are busy with manufacturing and process industries, now they have to work there. They are physically working. Managing the whole show is now very different. Managers are sitting at home, and people who are executing certain jobs in factory and maybe in market and field level, including agriculture. Now these people are working in field, so there is no option that you can avoid certain things, and somebody has to go there physically also. So that is a different thing as compared to what was there before, maybe months or 2 years. And that culture has changed now. So it is a good thing that many researchers could get adopted with the kind of new culture which is coming. So in some cases, what we say is this is the research in new normal. The old normal is different. Now, new normal means it is a new culture, new kind of setup, the new kind of world which we want to create. And I think research is not addressed as the mandatory thing. Many times people they consider this is optional, but all the problems which we face are because of the lack of research. And unless we do this, unless we understand the paradigm shift, perhaps we cannot address the other problems. For example, we are talking about the healthcare industry. If you just see, there is a change now. The kind of medicines which were required earlier, now a different set of medicine is required. Earlier, the number of beds in hospitals required, now it is different. The kind of requirement for oxygen manufactured. For example, suddenly you want to manufacture oxygen. So this need has created certain things which normally requires a new kind of thinking. New thinking is important. and the thought process that addresses the research. I think this is the topmost line which we have to set up, seeing a big picture of where the research is going on. Maybe we can classify the sectors like where agriculture is going on, where healthcare is going on, where manufacturing and process industries, oil and gas industries, power sector, and where aerospace and where exactly space industry is going on, where submarine industry and undersea water applications are changing. What are the requirements now? In industry 4.0 now, that is coming almost hand in hand with this COVID came, and then before that industry 4.0 we were talking about. This industry 4.0 is highly supportive to the new culture. Like you can carry out the experiment from home. So it is work from home experiment that you can do in the lab. Similarly, it is a work from home operation of equipment like boiler. You just manage it from the dashboard, and operators need not be, all the operators need not be there. Maybe few are required. In other cases, in fully autonomous system, perhaps you don't need even operator also for machines. And for that, you need to arrange a very different kind of action research. I was just telling you that these are the actions which you need to take immediately during this COVID situation, that how your laboratory can work. And most of the problems which we feel that those are not solved are research problems. So that you produce a technology and that can address the problem. And for producing technology, you need to carry out research. So only teaching is not the game, but the role of research that has to be very clearly understood, and then everybody is equally competent to carry out the research. Only we have to focus on what is to be done, what is the problem statement which you are addressing, what are the goals, what are the timelines within which you want to provide the solution. So the COVID has shown us many things. We talk in general, and every talk perhaps can boil down to a research problem. That this is the problem, that is the problem. So everywhere, whenever you are getting stuck up, now that gives a sense of some research problem. Whether you talk about any sector, and education, research in education is of course one of the important aspect here. Now, many things which are not running at present because of COVID, now there is a need to carry out research. So maybe food transportation, food preservation. I will tell you the important problem in mathematics today is how the food is produced, how cultivation is done, how exactly we preserve those, how processing is done, how you are going to transport, how is the packaging of the food, and how exactly it is consumed by the people across the globe, and what is the requirement of the food, different types of foods. Perhaps this boils down to a very complex mathematical problem, and there are several similar problems, including maybe traffic is a mathematical problem actually, because we do not pay attention to very normal things what we see, but it is a mathematical problem. And once you put it on paper, A4 size paper, perhaps you will find that this is a research problem, and lot many applications we need to develop by carrying out suitable research. Then there are disruptive technologies now. Many outdated products now, those are not getting sold. So you need to produce something new in a different way. For example, a factory which is producing some product with a finishing, maybe a mechanical product with a finishing of a micrometer. Now that may not work. We need to go for highly precision machining, and the product may be having better specification in terms of nanometers also. So how do we do that? What kind of mechanical engineering is required here to overcome such problem? Gone are the days when you want to just file in the workshop and see that it is maybe with marking gauge you are able to see whether it is done properly or not. So that kind of approach now it has changed. Then what is other way? What it changes the IoT applications and cloud, then data analytics. For everything now, these things are getting applied. Blockchain technology, so all technologies. Whenever you want to deploy, I think a lot of research is also required. Whenever you want to deploy those things and come out with the softwares which can overcome such problems. So new investments are required. New return on investments are expected, and the culture is changing. So these are the three important aspects because of which industry is analyzing, and they are waiting for some solutions which can provide the best possible one. In case of smart factories, for example, the existing factories are to be converted into smart factories, because you cannot expect a crowd to get into the industry just for operating so many equipment. So you are more or less you are relieving this particular responsibility on the systems which are based on IoTs, data analytics, and dashboards, and then perhaps it is a different kind of collaboration. I think earlier, a single consistent before COVID or before Industry 4.0, a single consultant was good enough to provide solution to many of the industry problems. And today the situation is that the moment we even talk about national education policy, also we are talking about transdisciplinary subjects. That means if I am studying in one particular subject, I have a lot of horizon which covers many other disciplines, and I am very much comfortable to work with other people. So if I am engineer of a particular type, I am able to work with many other engineers. If I am engineer, then I can work with many medical experts also. So I am very much comfortable to work with medical experts. Similarly, if I am a, maybe engineer, I can work with agriculture people. So this is the meaning of a transdisciplinary subject which can overcome some of the problems in Industry 4.0. So, because if I want to carry out data analytics for a compressor, a very simple machine, but simple but very complex for operation, because a lot of risk is there in running this kind of heavy compressors in industry. So this kind of system could be completely designed to take care of the complete compressor operation, and remotely you can do that. A lot of safety, security, standardization. These are the new things which are coming. So design, deploy, then manage, market, and then monitor the systems. I think these are some of the important aspects of any of the machines and processes. The product shift because of globalization. I'm just covering these three, but some more are there. I will just mention you a few of those. Like global aspect, like where are we now in terms of education? What is the competency level if we talk about global education? So I will tell you that I think people should be very thorough with mathematics, physics, and chemistry, the fundamental subject, biology even, and forget about the requirement of only mathematics, but you need to have a lot of mathematics in biology, a lot of mathematics in chemistry, a lot of mathematics in physics, so which is of course there. And unless we are going to make it comfortable, there is no engineering ideas which will be coming in newly. So in order to get many new innovative ideas in engineering, perhaps we need to strengthen our science, technology, engineering, mathematics all together, and even arithmetic also people are talking. So I think these are some of the changes which we need to incorporate, because without this, research cannot be carried out. A lot of mathematical modeling. It is not that we just believe only machine learning, deep learning. See, in the latest issue of our CM, Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics Philadelphia, it is said that these technologies, for example, maybe these are disruptive technologies also. So AI, machine learning, deep learning. See, here there is no scientific base, and because of which you cannot believe the what is the result of any operation using these technologies unless you standardize that. So you do not know what kind of action will be taken by these kind of technologies. So unless you prepare a scientific base and combine the classical techniques in mathematics as well as in statistics and many from physics and chemistry and other things, these technologies could not be supported so easily. So don't just say that if it is studied like AI, ML, Python, it is done. Not. So it is a very clear combination at present. People are exploring in research what kind of classical mathematics could be combined with this, because finally the ultimate aim is fit a regression model dynamically. What kind of model fits into all these things is very important. And earlier we were using maybe least square methods, and all those were maybe offline, maybe not in real time. And earlier the data was different. Now, because of this kind of remote operation, because of Industry 4.0, what is the change now? Instead of small data, we are talking about big data now. Not only 10 points, but I need now maybe 1 megabyte data at least, or gigabyte of data. That is a big data which is coming in picture. So before COVID and after COVID, in fact, we are now talking a very different thing. In Industry 4.0 also, we are talking about big data. That's why big data analytics is getting more important. The computational tools which were earlier are not applicable, because now we need to process it at very high speed, lot of memory, and we are talking about maybe online monitoring of the whole plant. In fact, the plant-wide controls like thing is becoming more practical, where a lot of optimization and so many complex operations are done, and it looks like a single block with inputs and output. The very state-of-the-art model of this disruptive technologies or data science model, which is plug and play model for industry. Now it is just like read write. You just read the outputs from the plant and then create some manipulating variables in such a way that it is written, and it is connected to the business analytics now. That means it is not only the data analytics for plant or plant analytics, but it is the business analytics that is connected to plant, and that is connected to the supply chain and market chain, and perhaps you can even produce something the moment you get order. Now, this was not earlier. So this is a paradigm shift in the operation of the manufacturing and process industry, where the moment you get order, you start manufacturing it. And some of the other supportive technology like additive technologies or drones or maybe robotics and many similar things, nanotechnology, so many other technologies can support all these things. So it is not that only the software technology will work, but it is the software that is connected to the physical systems. That means augmented reality. This is becoming more important now after the COVID or Industry 4.0, like compliant systems in industry. So we are talking about very different game now. Earlier products, the specifications of products were not so much stringent, but now we find that products with highly fine, refined specifications, where maybe at nanometer level or in terms of, so nothing is sold mainly in millimeters and in meters, but except cloths. But you find that many of the industrial products with precision manufacturing. So either talk about nanometers or kilometers. So kilometers means space-like thing or nanometers. So this is a different market which is coming, and we are trying to address at a global level. So what is happening in different countries is also more important. But at the same time, the classification of Industry 4.0 standard is very important step, because it helps in understanding what is happening and what kind of change in curricula and what kind of research which is changing is important. People have started working on industrial research. In fact, the same products which were not selling, now it is getting sold. So futuristic of the product is more important. For example, the mobile phone which you have today, what will be the mobile phone after 5 years? Which technologies? So, the washing out of technologies very periodically, like radio was there, it came in a different form. There was a television, it came in a different form now, and we are now more habituated with a smaller screen. Working in the classroom and working on this kind of online platform, this is the change, and we have accepted this kind of thing. So I think we have to understand how the culture has changed, what are the product shifts, and what kind of new research has to come. Of course, fundamentals will remain same. Let me tell you very clearly in a business sense that whatever may be the downturn in terms of business, the fundamental issues in science and technology, maybe your Newton's law remains same. What remains same is your maybe Kirchhoff's law, or what remains same is Bernoulli's principle remains same. So we are still equipped with the same kind of fundamentals now also, in terms of crisis also. Whenever there is a high degree of crisis or recession, even these fundamentals will remain as it is. And then we need to put it in a different way. So we need to club maybe classical methods as well as fundamentals with newer application methods. And I think applied research will come in picture here, because today, now what is the change again? The mathematics which was there on the paper, in between before Industry 4.0, it went in terms of algorithms. We enjoyed some of the business areas like telecom and many other sectors like IT sector. But now, as we enter into Industry 4.0, now the mathematics is implemented everywhere. Some machines are also generating maybe the data, which is the transformation in terms of in the sense of mathematics. And almost every mathematics you can put it in the software and you can apply it. So that is becoming reality now. Sometimes it was not possible. For example, 1959 Puri algorithm, they were struggling to implement those. Even till 90s, the computers were not good enough in terms of speed to run some of those algorithms. So we were talking about fast algorithm. Today, in fact, this concept is slightly misleading, because everything is very fast now. We are talking about gigabyte of data that is getting processed. So the matrix of maybe 1 gigabyte by 1 gigabyte could be handled in terms of the advanced signal processing and the processors which can process it. So the technology is changing. Computational platforms are changing. Only thing is now we should not play with very small data like 10 points, or maybe the vector which is of 10 point. Now it is getting replaced by 1 gigabyte, and there are so many applications. So I have tried to explain the shifts. In fact, futuristic challenges are there in terms of education, in terms of research, and this research is changing. Maybe I can have maybe some other time when I can discuss the research in much detail. But I have just given you a very big picture of where the research is changing and how the collaborative research has to be done. You need to collaborate with organizations and people also. So I think this is the change. Now I will hand over session to Dr. Pallavi Soman ma'am. So she is here. In fact, I have taken 10 minutes more, but I think we can continue till 5:15 or 5:20. I request all the faculty members and organizers to just be with us because of this time constraints. Yes, Professor
Sure, sir.
Sonale, yes, I will just stop sharing the slides.
Sir, shall I introduce briefly, madam?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir, I will. I think
I think you need to display Dr. Soban ma'am's profile.
just wait.
Yeah.
Again, a very good afternoon. So let me remind you that we are having this session in collaboration with Indian Society for Technical Education and VPKYT Baramati. So we have IST chapter with us, and here again I welcome our another distinguished personality, Dr. Pallavi Soman madam. Hello madam, very good afternoon. Madam.
So maybe she need to unmute the mic.
Madam needs to unmute. Yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah,
Yes.
now I could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could. It was not in my hand.
Yes. Yeah.
You are unmuted, madam. Very good
Thank you so
afternoon.
much, and namaste, sir. And
Yeah.
thank you.
Namaste. Yeah.
So here we are together, and again let me tell you that along with principal there are a number of deans of our institution. Dr. Anil Hivrekar is dean academics as well as also the institute coordinator of IST. Along with that, another deans are Dr. Rajveer Shastri sir, Dr. Dinesh Hansate sir, Dr. Parshuram Chitragar sir, and of course there is a vice principal Dr. Sudhir Lande sir is also already with us. So again,
thank you so much, sir.
yes, madam. I am going to be very brief because it is always worth to listen from you instead of saying
Yeah,
something
I
about
think this is too much for me also.
No.
So you can just tell.
Let me just go through slides at least.
Okay.
This is the qualification paid in education, at least 28 years of experience, objective to augment teacher-student relations by inculcating values, ethics, positive attitude, and creativity among the teaching faculty, to instill self-confidence within the future generation to face challenges due to technological advancement, to guide students and academicians to follow the philosophy of constructivism and pragmatism. Along with that, so here these are the personal qualities, interpersonal skill, innovative thinker, and then also you can see techno savvy, so many qualities and workshops. Here workshops and training madam has been responsible with. There is a list of so many are there. And after that, about the research publications. So again, there are plenty of papers which have been published by madam. So some of them are e-skills teaching with technology for online educators, technological advancements in ODE and so many basically related on education system, and we can see so many papers are there. And these are the different responsibilities Madam AI has been shouldering. PhD supervisor, then a reviewer on editorial boards, and so many things are there. Career responsibilities and activities also like this. These are some of the achievements. So thanks a lot, Madam. So we'd like to listen
So
to
much,
you.
sir. Thank you for your kind introduction, and it was really overwhelming. And first of all, I thank all the dignitaries who have invited both of us to this session today. And it was a wonderful session by Ajay sir. Thank you, Ajay sir, for introducing me to such great personalities on this platform, and the teachers and students on one platform, because nowadays due to COVID, it's really difficult to meet people. But because of this, we can really get connected, and thank you, sir. So should we start? Ajay sir, I would request you to please share the slides.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I hope you must be seeing the slides. And
Yeah, I can see, sir. But I
from
think I
here,
will not. I will
yes,
not be able to control. You will have to.
I will do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
hope the
so I
slides
think
are
this is the
visible.
first slide, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sir has already started with paradigm shift of research. And now I'm going to talk something about paradigm shift in education. So when we talk about education, the teacher, the students, and the total management and the system and the society and the culture, and at a global level, we all play important role. But main two important factors are there, that is teacher and student, which is undeniable, and nobody can think about education without student and teacher. But yes, because of this paradigm shift, there is shift in education. Now new NP policy also has come out, and that you all will agree that we all are shifting to constructivism. We all are shifting to practical aspect of life. And in this, we always felt, especially I felt as educationists, that we need to understand how the teacher's role is changing, why it is changing, and what is the need of training now. We have so many training programs around, but we don't know what is the output, or we are not thinking about the output. We just attend and then we again start with the regular routine what we have. But here I want to specify here just to highlight how this is important and why it is important. So initially there was real presence where classroom, lecture halls, courses, lectures, conferences, seminars, all were there. Whereas in virtual presence, now we have shifted to virtual school classrooms, ODL, open distance learning, because most of the universities also have been given permission to start distance learning. Apart from them, if there is no following the traditional approach, we are following the methodology, which is online learning. Okay. Then teleconferencing, online libraries. We are using a lot of WW, that internet simulation. Sir, previous slide just one.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
along, yeah. So simulations and virtual reality. Now simulation is we are giving the students such ideas about, though something is not there, but we are simulating them to learn through virtual classrooms, through artificial intelligences, right? Through virtual intelligences. So all this shift is tremendous. And as sir rightly said, in the last 1.5 year or 2 years, suddenly the teachers, especially school, universities, everywhere, those who are working in traditional, they had to shift this. And this is going to be all over, because we know there's no end to it. So that's why there is a need of lot of training for the teachers, for the total education system, for management, how to work about and go through this phase of change. Yes. Next, sir.
Yeah.
Then new competency is very essential, right? I just move this 1 minute. Why? Because there is global need for new skills and knowledge. Equal opportunities for education is important, as we all know. for education and training, open access. Now it's quite open. We can connect anywhere around the world. We can get knowledge from there, right? And that's why it has become very, and there is new competency. I always say that we have a lot of information, but it is difficult to design the information. That's why we have subjects like instructional design, in which we teach the trainers or the teachers that how to design a particular instructions. We have a lot of information. एका क्लिकवर तुम्हाला कितीतरी माहिती मिळते, पण त्या मुलांपर्यंत कशी पोहोचवायची? What will be the best way that the students can understand? This is a new competency which we all need to understand, and we have to imbibe this skill. Next is ICT as a central component of a new skill and competence. As I told you, again, techno tools. There are so many tools available for teachers to use. Nowadays, we have started using so many apps which are free of cost. They are pulping up, as he said, that there are so many startups coming up. So how to adjust to that? How to connect our students to this new skills? And that's why the teachers need to learn this. And ICT as a tool for providing flexible learning environment. So how will you use this tool as your teaching aid? How will you use this tool for flexible learning, for telling the students, okay, you learn at home and then we'll come and discuss. So this is a new concept, which is also new methodology. You may be knowing about it, which is known as flipped classroom. So all the technological based methodologies, pedagogies, all are coming to us, which we need to be skilled in. Okay, yes, sir, next. Yes, and now again we have shifted from behaviorist and constructivist. I'm sure you all must know this about it, that how we used to give importance to the change in the behavior of the students, and we say that learning has taken place only when there is change in behavior. But when there is change in behavior, the teacher was highly oriented. The teacher-centered education was there. But now from behaviorist, teacher-centered, we are going to learner-oriented center behavior. But learner is going to be the main role to learn. Okay. Then highly structured, your flexible structure is important. Drill and practice, continue. I hope we all remember how we have learned spellings. There are a lot of practice, drilling, reinforcement, and everything, repetition, a lot of repetition was there. But now we are giving it to highly interactive. If the students interact with us, then they learn better. It has been proved, and it is obvious, right? Then passive transfer. There was passive transfer. A teacher is teaching in the class. She doesn't know that if the students are learning or not. But now we have changed the shift to exploratory, where we are exploring, we are giving resources to the students where they are going to learn by their own, and a teacher is going to be a facilitator, a resources provider, and not a dictator, right? Then initially there was only summative evaluation, but now it is project-based pedagogy. You need to give project, you need to explain the students. In fact, the role of teacher has become very comprehensive, and she has to work a lot because she has to be so much creative. She is a resource provider, so she has to give the best because students are going to explore. It's not spoon feeding now. Okay, and with new education policy, this is becoming very, very practical. So on basis of this, a teacher needs to know different methodologies, different techniques, different strategies, using ICT tool, blended approach, flipped classrooms, and so on and so many. Then issues. What issues can be there? Like I told you, technology and equipment issues may be there for teachers. Multimedia coursewares are available. So which to use, where to use, when to use. Teacher training is essential to use all this multimedia courseware. And availability. I want to attend Zoom meeting, but I don't have internet. So is the resources available? Will the students be able to connect to us? Will the students be able to complete some project which I have given? So all these issues we need to think as a teacher and an educator. Okay, yes, sir. Then global views on learning have changed. Initially traditional, we focused on teacher, the role of student is passive, technology, blackboard, TV, radio, etc. finished. But now there is tremendous change. Information, as I told you, focus on student, the role of student is active. ICT, communicational technology, right? Information focused. So here it is important that the role.
Please unmute your mic.
I request the host not to mute me because then I don't know. I want talking. It was
No,
muted
no,
by
madam,
them.
no.
I think so by mistake.
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Fine, no problem. So, did you listen to the slide or you want me to start it again?
Previous slide, if you want.
No, I am fine with it. What about others? Okay, fine. Let us start with this.
Yeah.
So, traditional, I was talking about focus on teacher was there. Then the information was focused on students. The role of student is very active. Now we know the role of student is very, very active. I want my student to be active. But if I don't give him proper resources, how the student will be active? मी त्याला असं काहीतरी द्यायला पाहिजे where he is going to or she is going to participate. They are going to be interactive. If I'm just going to tell them to go to the library, find out the reference books, study and give the exam, finish. There is no change in your teaching and learning. So you need to give them different websites. You need to give them different YouTube links or something which will make them active, or go and actually visit some industries or participate. And that's when engineering and all the technology field also nowadays, internship is very important from first year, because the student should be active. The student should be the part of that. Yeah, right. Next is knowledge. Focuses on group. The role of student is adaptive. He has to adapt to the new situation, new knowledge, new information. And for this, a student or a teacher or a manager or an administrator needs to be updated in the knowledge. Many of them don't know also that what has happened yesterday around their own region. So if you are not updated, how are you going to get connected to the students? Okay, so you should be adaptive in this. Yes, next, sir. Parameters for change. Why we need this change and why we need training? Because there's time and space, there is change, there is availability. As sir said, there is lot of change in the culture, the societal scenario. And now parameters change, because initially the problem of space or time also we have valued. Now through all these technological tools, we can connect from anywhere, anytime, any place. Any distance is also not a problem. Then cost, market, competition and collaboration. These four are also very important when we think about a change. Teacher-student relationship, teaching information, knowledge. This is the third parameter. And fourth parameter is quality, assessment and validation. How much it is true, whatever information is, you find out how true it is, how factful it is, how credible it is. For research, as sir said, you need to do research, you need to find out, you need to understand the problem, you need to identify the problem so that you can solve the problems which are related to education. But when you are researching, it's very important that you know how to validate that. Is the person saying, a person whom you are listening to or receiving the information, is he validated or credible person? So all this has brought a change and need for training to understand this. Okay, next. New situation, again, I come to. ICT is already here in our society, we all know this. It is a part of daily life for everyone. It's a part of our professional knowledge and skill, change in traditional methods and crafts. A new profession related to ICT is coming up, like instructional design, design thinking. As initiative for further development, R&D, and in several areas of education is needed. This is what I and Ajay sir are trying to do it and coming out with various methodologies which can help the society. And as means for communication and distribution. Now in all this ICT, here I want to highlight that communication plays a very important role. And distribution of this communication. We have so much media, we have so many mediums. So it is very important that choosing correct medium for correct teaching, for correct training is very important. And distribution of this communication to reach the unreached. This is the situation which we all are facing and we need to work on it. Okay? Yes. Public requirements. Now in public, what is the scenario? People don't want, now you always agree, तुम्हाला मी खरं सांगते, परवाच मी एक लहान मुलाला विचार होता की आता शाळेत जायचंय का, कंटाळा आला का घरी? म्हणला, नो, आय डोंट वांट टू गो होम, आय डोंट वांट टू गो टू स्कूल, आय एम हॅपी ॲट होम. So now this has changed. The small child has started loving flexibility. They want something different to learn. Similarly, education system is also changing. So we as teachers, as educators, need to think that how best we can give the students using all these technological advancements. So there can be tailor-made of courses, then bringing training competency anywhere, anytime. We are the best example today. One-stop shopping possibilities. This is the flexible that anytime you can shop as per your requirement. Then availability, reduced traveling and pollution. Then efficiency, that is better exploitation of time and scarce professional resources. So obviously you're using the resources, but you are exploring more and you are also becoming efficient. But this can only be achieved with correct communication, correct training, correct collaboration, and competence. Okay. Yes, sir. So collaboration for lifelong learning across traditional borders. Now this is just a graphical presentation. I wanted to show you that how we need to upgrade ourselves. Sitting here, I can take the certificate of Coursera. I can go to University of Alvan or Virginia and I can take certificate from there. I need not go there. Why? And that's why the doors are open. But as teachers, we are still in that traditional mode. This is what I want to tell you. For upgrading ourselves, we need to come out of it. We need to upgrade ourselves. We need to become lifelong learning. We need to do that. Only then we can give best to our students and go across the traditional borders. Okay. Asa naka vichar karo ki, oh, when I'll do what? Just jump into and you can do small courses. You can opt for 6 hours courses, maybe 10 hours courses, and upgrade yourself, upgrade the skills. So skill development is very important at every facet and every parameter of your teaching learning. Yes, sir. So what students want? This is very interesting. I like this slide. They want wide choice of courses to compose their own study programs. And now if you have seen MP, we are going to give this opportunity to even the school students. So if we are going to give the opportunity, we have to be ready with it, right? Then credits and certificates for courses and programs completed for even small programs. If I take a training program for 6 hours, immediately first the teachers or the trainers or the administrators, they want certificates. Why? Because they want to show that yes, I have achieved this knowledge, I have got this skill. So this is very important. It's a recognition. Then flexible study over time at home or at work, well-organized, safe and professionally tailored courses, and ICT as a self-evident tool and source of information. They also don't want to sit in the class and learn nowadays. They just want to use internet as much as they can because they get a lot of information than what they get in the class. So why not take the information to the students by using correct technological tools? Yes. Again, collaboration, ICT related and R&D, I think sir has spoken about this. Yeah, but we need to have these trainings and all that for, to face these common challenges and interests. Then benefits and synergy of joint development, limited resources, few specialists. Now, if I have some resources and if your institute has some resources, then we can do a joint work together. Okay. You can send them to our institute. I can send them to my institute, your institute. And we have limited resources, but we can use as a whole. The national and institutional interest also is very important when we are talking about collaboration. As I said, give you example in the last slide, that coping with new challenges in education is very essential. And for that, upgrading and upskilling is important. Then funding and sharing of resources. We can find the funds from different people who maybe CSR activities or the industries who want to really, help the institutions for research and upgradation of education. And access to new knowledge and products, collaborate with each other. Okay, you can have teachers from different institutes who can teach your students a subject which you are unable to. So this is collaboration. Yeah. Yes, sir. Institutional strategies are changing. Institution include ICT-based ODL in strategy, that is open distance learning. Then creating new learning environment is important instead of just talking about teaching. Then responsibility for learning lies with the students. Learning as an active process nowadays, as I told you earlier. And new dimensions of learning have come into picture, like project-based learning, simulation, multimedia, interactivity. So all this simulations, gaming going further. So all this we need to upgrade and understand for better teaching learning. Yes. Yeah, again, something same like shifting from teaching to learning, increase students' responsibility for own learning, new methods of learning like PBL, exchange of ideas and knowledge is important, and new role of teacher is imperative in today's scenario. Yes, sir. Virtual net-based learning, yes, you can see this collaborative choice of different learning styles. I hope you all know about learning styles. If you don't, let us have a lecture on that and we'll have a very good workshop on that. Net-based group work, PBL, then students belong to a learning society. Remember this. It is not that it is not impossible to get connected to. I am teaching in distance learning, online learning last 10 years. And every student get connected to us. It is how you approach the students and make them responsible to learn. You don't spoon feed them. Okay. Then sharing, exchanging, supporting, guiding, and assisting. All this is the role of a teacher in virtual net-based learning environment. Yes. Yes. What are the consequences for teachers training? Why? So students must themselves experience the new paradigm, not only be told about it. That's why I'm telling, I was going on about it, that just don't tell students that, yes, now you are going to learn. Plan to such activities, such techniques that you will make them learn. So they should experience the shift of the teacher's role and not be told orally. Okay. Then teachers, trainers must reform our ways of teaching, organizing learning situations. So we need to be trained. Then teacher training education institutes must reform strategies and organizations, as I told you. Authorities, the administrative people must revise the plan and regulations. Please change your administrations. Please change your managing whatever. See, traditional base is not going to change. Remember, नवीन काही आलं की आधीच जात नाही, पण त्याच्यावर आपण काहीतरी change आणतो. That is important. Okay, there is to be revision, there is to be modification. There is not to be extinguished. Then ICT is both a flexible tool and a golden opportunity for rethinking. Yes, sir. Yes, and this is the most important slide which I and Ajay sir both liked and we wanted to share with you that, yeah, the last line I cannot see, sir. I think, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. So 21st century skills, which we all need to really work on. How today's students can stay competitive in the changing job market. So if we want our students to be competitive in this job market, we as teachers, educators, we need to learn these skills. So there are 3 types of skills which I need to focus here. First is learning skill. Okay. In learning skill, there will be critical skill, creativity, collaboration, and communication. And for communication here, I want to highlight there is no other way to run away from English as a language. If you want to be a global communicator, you need to know English as a language because it's the base of everything nowadays. So please focus on this also. Effective English skills are very important. Then literacy skills like information, media, and technology. We have spoken a lot about it. And life skills. Sir, can you read? Because I am unable to read from here. What are life skills?
Yes.
It's not.
Yes, life skills, we have flexibility,
Yeah.
leadership,
Mm-hmm.
initiative, productivity, and social skills.
Oh, great. So all this, I think most of them what we have discussed now. Okay. But for standing, though now, for example, many students of mine, they learn English, but they cannot be leaders. Why? Because then they are lacking in leadership skills. So, and social connect. So if you're learning a particular skill, all these are important in your life to stand in today's scenario. And in job market, it's very important. One more skill or one more thing I would like to highlight here is most nowadays is emotional intelligence, where we will learn all these skills also along with emotional intelligence, that how to work in a team, how to understand others, how to understand your own self. So all these are important skills which we felt and we felt like sharing with you. Yes, I think we have come to the last slide. Yes. So we are trying to play a new game by old rules. This is what we both felt, that already things are there. Okay, the rules are there, but let us play in a innovative way, a creative way, so that we reach to the new generation. Approaches to implement, how we can implement these games or the trainings or the this, keep the old and make it look the new. Okay, one word I always use, reinventing the wheel, की तीच गोष्ट आपण नवीन पद्धतीने दाखवतो. Okay, next way is keep part of the old and ease into the new. So yes, whatever I've learned in traditional aspect, I'll keep that, and then gradually I will shift to the new also. And the last is do away with the old. Just delete the old and start fresh with something which you have. So any three ways we can opt for training our own selves and our colleagues and all who need this to stand as a challenge for the new education policy and in today's scenario. Because I hope you all know the generation is very fast. They learn so fast. They have so many things that we don't understand. अरे हे कसं कळलं? हे कधी ऐकलं? So these are very common things we all have experienced. Let us be much more than a generation, and through training and communication and upskilling especially, it is a need for today's scenario. Yes, sir. Last, I think it's over.
Yes, please.
Yes, so thank you very much. And I hope I have not bored all of you and I could reach maximum people. I'm so happy, 100 participants I can see, and you have been us since last 1.5 hours. So I hope if any queries are there.
Yes, yes. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you,
madam.
organizers and
yes.
everyone.
Thanks a lot. I
If any
think,
queries
madam,
are there, we can take.
madam, this is a platform wherein different people in our teaching fraternity have been together.
Oh, great, sir.
Not only restricted to our institute, there are some very much senior faculties as well as even principals from some other institutions.
So we are privileged, in fact. We could meet to everyone on this platform. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. So if I will request the participants to share their thoughts on this occasion.
Sir, just I would like to add few things here. It has been really wonderful session, a great review of research perspective and academics perspective point of view, that what are the changes that we need to bring in ourselves. So we as VPKVIT faculties have started to take baby steps regarding to this, to face these challenges, just like
Great.
thousands of hours of videos have been done by faculties and that has been shared to students so that they can watch whenever it is possible for them. Many faculties have started with patents and startups also. Students
Okay.
are engaged in startups, so that is a good initiative as well. Few faculties have started to work with AR and VR technologies, and they are creating lab manuals using AR and VR. So it is really interesting that faculties are taking some initiatives to face the challenges and make students to explore the world the way you said. So these are few things. Coursera IDX, thousands of certifications have been done, though it is a little few steps, okay, but like you said, that has to be reached to everyone. And with your points, the way you have shared, and Dr. Deshmukh sir, the way he has explored the research, surely we have the feeling that there is yet to do a lot in these areas.
Yes,
So
sir.
thanks a lot for sharing your views.
Thank you so much.
Hope we will keep on
Shastri sir.
working with Pallavi madam and Deshmukh sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Our pleasure.
Maybe we can take up one or two questions, but the topics are very interesting, and this may continue, but we thought that we give a very, very big picture of what is shifting in terms of research and in terms of education. And I'm really delighted that Pallavi ma'am could give a very, very comprehensive picture of this educational shift, which perhaps it is very difficult to even put it on a very less number of slides. And that way, even I could also find many interesting things here. And some of those things, implementing those things is very important now.
Yeah.
If you just talk about maybe Vivekananda philosophy, just try to implement one, you find how interesting it is and how what are the challenges. So I think those things she has very clearly mentioned in the slides. And I'm really
Sir, I would to thank you so much for your appreciation. I would like to congratulate Shastri sir for telling us about
Yeah.
so much things they are doing, and we are so happy to hear because
yeah
we are sitting here, we don't know. But only one thing I'm little worried about it, all the faculties and your students and everything is that we are doing a lot of things. Not you, I'm not telling you, but I also. But I'm always worried about the quality. Because see, we are doing PPTs. For example, I've done this PPT, I've got, but how you're presenting to students and how much students are learning, this is our concern. So learning output is important. We are doing, but how much output we get, that we need to really check. So thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you.
telling. Yeah, thank you so much.
Hivrekar sir, maybe you want to say something because he is a professor of mathematics, I know.
Oh,
And he's going to take up some of these tasks as ownership, and maybe he can help us to put it in mathematics fraternity.
So thank you very much, sir, and very excellent talk by you and madam. And
thank you, sir.
on some of the mathematical concepts, how they are useful. And madam highlighted a very interesting area on teaching and learning. And madam, for your information, we have conducted AICT IST program
Oh, okay,
of 3 online programs
okay.
a few months back. It is from December to May. And we have successfully conducted and we have discussed many issues. And now it is really challenging for all teachers how
Yes.
to evaluate the students in online mode, because students are at the other end. And,
Yeah.
that is one of the challenges that
Sir,
we
in
are
that,
facing.
yeah, thank you so much. Sir, in that we can surely, I can help you in, I'm sure we all know about Bloom's taxonomy and objectives and outcomes, but especially in online mode, evaluation is really difficult, but there are so many techno tools available and so many thoughts and creativity is available through which we can really help the student to us. We can help in assessment.
Thank you.
I think the open book test is also one
Yes.
interesting idea here.
Yeah.
Recently,
Hello,
one
hello.
of the renowned university now, they have tried with this kind of workshop, and almost all felt that we must allow a
Hello,
student with helplines and
Sir, I
all the
think
resources.
somebody wants to ask, I think. Yeah.
Anything you want to ask? Somebody there?
Dr. Savji, would you like to share something? Principal from Indapur campus.
Yes, please, Dr. Savji, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, please, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you for your nice lecture, madam and sir.
Thank you, sir.
Here at
you.
Indapur, in this pandemic situation, we have tried one experiment where we have given case study to the students.
Oh,
And the
okay.
topic was microcontroller, where students have not learned about the microcontroller. And we have provided the material and then evaluated them on the higher order thinking scale, whether really they could understand the new topic or not. And in this, we have got the very good result with almost 80% of students have shown the nice performance. We have evaluated on that higher order thinking skill on this
Yeah.
topic of microcontroller.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's really great.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah. Then we are also using game pedagogy in Moodle so that learning can be made interesting.
Very nice. So nice to hear, sir.
Really great. So in spite of all
Thank you.
the pandemic situation, people are able to come out with very higher order thinking and even implementation also. So kinesthetic outcomes are also seen just by without any laboratory or without anything. If they're able to do it at home, I think that is great. Uh, but one
Yes, sir.
pedagogical thing which I want to just mention here is that there is nothing like student can learn certain thing only in engineering or only in some science final year. Even 8th standard student can do a wonderful job as far as research and some of the innovations are concerned. So there is no age-like thing where somebody cannot do it. Now we have a thought process like we want to study something in the 3rd year engineering. Not necessary that in today's situation. Maybe 7th standard, 8th standard student can do a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Sir.
Yes. Ansate sir, bola.
Hello.
Ah, bola sir.
Hello, sir. Myself, Dr. Hansat is speaking. Taxonomy. In that taxonomy, it has been given that there is a cognitive process. In that cognitive process, the skill is already included. The knowledge
voice is-
is already
your voice is-
included in the skills.
your
Then
voice is
skill
breaking.
different in the various.
Voice is
Now,
breaking.
can you listen?
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Hello.
Repeat sir, repeat.
Hello, sir. Can you listen now?
Yes sir.
Yeah.
In Bloom's taxonomy, the cognitive process has already been given, and in the cognitive process, they have included the skill and knowledge is there. That is actually the skill includes itself the knowledge. Then why we separate the skills and knowledge in our education field?
In,
Very-
should I answer, sir?
Yes.
Yes, madam. No
Then
problem.
I will add.
Yeah.
Then I will add certain things because you are.
See, in Bloom's taxonomy, 3 parameters are given: knowledge, skill, and attitude. Okay. So in that, so cognitive aspect is that how you learn. That is important. The process is important. And skill is that after learning, how you implement. Okay. Psychomotor skill. So we are not separating. In fact, as per Bloom's, he says that all the 3 things should go hand in hand. That's why just giving knowledge will not have help, but there has to be some mental processes. And after mental processes, it is important that you can implement the skills in your day-to-day life. So they 3 are together. It's not separate. This is what I want to say.
Yes, I just want to add
Okay,
one or two
thank you.
things. In,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In education, perhaps skills are also included and knowledge is also included. Education typically consists of 5 parameters. One is information, other one is knowledge, third one is your freedom, then other one is attitude, and then perhaps we need to implement those things. So as madam said, so implementation issues are also important. So all these things if we put together, then definitely knowledge and skills are required. But now where we classify skills as different entity, because knowledge is definitely required in every case, but certain things I want to do immediately, then I must be trained. So the training that is given, for example, a driver never thinks about how the brake is looking like, how the gears are looking like, and whether they want to see where are the gears and all. But they start spontaneously doing this without any much thinking. That means that thought process is almost trained, and that kind of action is also trained. And therefore, thought as well as action, when it comes together, then we find the importance of skill. I think therefore skill evaluation and knowledge evaluation are separate. These are separate entities that way. But of course, both must go hand in hand. It is not that illiterate person should have more skills. Your knowledgeable person can also have more skills also.
Then, sir, the problem is that we have got skills, okay, which are in the cognitive domain, and we have got also skills in the psychomotor domain also.
So
Yeah.
that,
sometimes
that,
we
I'm
get
sorry,
the
sorry, sir.
output
Sir,
of
that
the-
are not skills.
A cognitive domain
Cognitive is
gives
a process. Cognitive is a process.
cognitive is the
Process.
process where we get the outcomes, okay,
Correct. Or
related to the
objectives.
knowledge.
Correct.
Yes, and then you say that the psychomotor domain gets the learning outcomes related to the skills.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
why the skills are included in the psychomotor domain then?
No,
physical skill.
Which skills are included in cognitive aspect you're saying? If you have seen Bloom's taxonomy very clearly, there are 3 parts. Now it's not possible to share the screen, otherwise I would have shown you.
Yeah.
That just go through this and you can get back to me, take my mail, and we can talk about it as we are running out of time. That
Okay,
there
no
are,
problem.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we can talk about it afterwards. So you can get back to me. I'll be very happy to interact with you.
Even imagination, actually, I have missed one point. Imagination has to be added in these 5 points, implementation as well as imagination. I think imagination is more important. Otherwise, we cannot do new things if we are not able to visualize.
That's why,
This is
as for
also
the
a
new
process.
technology, new Bloom's taxonomy, sir, the
Yes,
highest level is creativity.
creativity. Yes.
Yes, initially it was evaluation. Now it has gone to
And
creativity.
this creativity is associated with freedom also.
Yes, freedom,
what we
imagination,
yeah,
attitude, everything will be
attitude.
part of it.
What we want to emphasize in today's situation is we are not taking enough freedom in education.
Correct.
Putting so many constraints like doing something for only NAC or only for NBA. I think that kills the freedom and creativity also. Those are essential. Those are different things, but
But it has to be the part of process.
part of process. But let us have a student-teacher relationship should not have all other things in front of us as objectives.
Hmm.
For example, a student is not very much happy, and even though we have high degree of accreditation, whatever may be the standard and quality, but student is happy if they know these 5 points and maybe whatever covered in Bloom's taxonomy also.
Yes.
Bloom's
Thank you so much.
taxonomy is one way, yeah. So I think education is that way much in-depth topic, which in a separate session sometimes we need to address. But really good question. I appreciate.
Sir, just,
Ah.
sir, in this pandemic, the definitions of teaching learning processes have been totally refined.
Yes, yes.
Nobody was thinking that the education can be done in this way. So thanks to the technology, still we are connected with the students anyhow. So mobile was not allowed for the students during their,
Hmm.
but that has been playing a crucial role nowadays in this
Yeah.
mode. So yeah, and accordingly, the evaluation patterns of the universities in online mode, students are appearing for the examination from their home, and I think that there is drastic changes in the results also consequently. I will not dare to say that the results are drastically improved because these students have appeared in online mode. I do not know what they would have scored if there would have been no online mode. So
Yes.
I will not say about, but still overall I think that the results are better. And still, the doubt is that are the students gaining the knowledge, acquiring the knowledge at the same level? Will they be as worthy to be employable as their senior people? This is my question.
So let me, in case I add one point here, that Bernard Shaw said, in fact, Palay madam know much better about Bernard Shaw. He said that we are just teaching, and there is no learning.
Learn.
And I will tell you one experience, which was before pandemic and after pandemic, so it is equally applicable. When I wrote the book, then I thought that I will conduct some lectures. Before that, I used to conduct maybe 60 lectures for microcontroller subject. And then after that, I thought that 10 lectures are good enough. Then 3 hours are good enough. Then I came to conclusion before pandemic that no lecture is required. The book was purchased by industry, and industry is going to implement, considering it as a ready reference manual. Because whatever is done by those companies and manufactured, every information is there. And what kind of exams we are conducting. When we were studying, we used to maybe answer like architecture of 885. That was a very complex thing to remember. And memory-based learning methods have washed out slowly now. And what we were, somebody said, a very renowned astrophysicist, he told me that people are brilliant, like Newton and other people also earlier. They are brilliant not because they were taught, because they learned more. They spent more learning time as compared to teaching time. So there are 2-3 examples where I'm telling that zero teaching is there and learning is to the highest level. Then the teacher's role is to create contents, write books, create learning resources, books or so many other things. A new content which will appear in front of students. So they will just learn it. Videos and all, I think those were not there at Newton's time, but he was very brilliant. But today videos are there, so people are happy there. So almost the teaching has to be minimum in the sense that you create courseware. Let student to go to Blackboard and we listen to that and see that a student is learning. And even most of us, I will just make a mention. You can recollect that whenever you were studying, perhaps it was the self-study which has overcome most of the difficulties as compared to just sitting somewhere. The classroom is required because we want to learn something at a glance, and a professor can give direction. Like curricula is not known to people. This is one important aspect of the pedagogy, that a student entering in first year is not aware of what is there in third year and final year or what is there after education.
Correct.
That is, I think, very important. That direction teacher has to say. So this is the role of teacher maybe after pandemic also.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I think we are at the end of the session, Sonone sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I will request Dr. Rajur Shastri sir to express the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sonone sir. Dr. Deshmukh sir, you are always extending your expertise and wisdom to all of us. Either it is a signal processing chapter from IEEE or it is a session on Industry 4.0. Okay, and today you are again here. And along with Pallavi Soman madam, yes, it's
Thank
nice
you.
to hear you, madam, with
Thank you,
your
sir.
lot of experience. Hope we will keep on interacting with both of you so that we will come with some fruitful methodologies for the benefit of students. So let's pledge that we will make students, make him more learning possible for him. And I also thanks and appreciate faculties who have attended from other from VPKVIT, from Indapur and Malegaon and surrounding campuses. I also thank Hubreker sir and Sonone sir and your all team for organizing all this setup within very less time. So thanks a lot everyone, and keep sharing, and let's enrich ourselves so that we will bring the India at the top through our students.
Great.
So,
Thank you so much
thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, sir.
for this
Thanks a lot.
opportunity. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take
Thanks a
care.
lot.
Bye.
We will
Thanks a lot.
end the session
you.
here.
Thank you. Thanks.